three things on the agenda for today. Firstly, Zambia's campaign at the Region 5 Youth Games that's recently concluded in Namibia. Secondly, we'll be looking at the Copper Queens run at the ongoing Africa Cup in Morocco. And thirdly, we'll be looking at what the Diamond League has in store for Zambian track and field athlete Muzala Samukonga. Yeah, so going straight into business, as most of you might know, Zambia was competing in the Region 5 Games in Namibia. That I think concluded on the 13th of July, if I'm not mistaken. And Zambia was amongst the 10 countries from across the Southern African region. The final medal standings put Zambia at 60th position, that's the ranking. 60th position with a total of 29 medals, that's 8 gold, 8 silver, and 13 bronze. That's over 100 off compared to number 1 in the region, that's South Africa, who had a total of 143 medals. Second was Namibia, the host, with 90. Zimbabwe came in third with 89, and Angola came in fourth with 43. So according to reports, Zambia had a team of over maybe close to 100 athletes, but it was like 190, 160 something, including team officials, athlete support personnel, and whatnot. And comparing to the recent performance in Namibia, in Malawi, the last time the Region 5 Games were held, I think we had a better performance in Malawi compared to the performance that we had in the recent games. And looking at the numbers and the sports that were involved, I mean, personally, I expected more, but I mean, it is what it is. And yeah, so congratulations to everyone who went to Namibia, because the Region 5 game provides like a foundation and a stepping stone for most athletes to go to other platforms where they can compete. And we have the African Youth Games coming up in Angola later this year, and the Youth Olympic Games coming up next year in Senegal. So most of the athletes who will be competing in those games will most likely come from the Region 5 Games. And yeah, so wish them all the best. Moving on, Zambia is amongst the cream of women's football that are competing in Morocco. So far, we've qualified to the quarterfinals, 2 wins, 1 draw. That's a good performance for me, but 2 things that I've noticed. I think Zambia has been playing a defensive game, in as much as we've conceded 4 goals in the 3 games that we played. Looking at the fact that we don't really have the creativity in the midfield, as we all can attest the fact that the substitution that was made in the recent game against DRC, where we had Evelyn Katongo coming into the midfield, and she started distributing those balls in the best way she knows how to. So I think going into the next game, it will need a lot of tactical changes from the coach, and we need to play a more creative game compared to what we've been playing in the past 3 games, because we're playing against a team like Nigeria. We've played them before. They have an idea of what they should be expecting, but we need to put things into perspective. And I would also like to take this moment to give a shout out to a standard performer for me, that's Rachel Kundaranji. And if you've been following the women's game, you can attest the fact also that she has improved a lot, and we could see that in the games that she's played. In those 3 games, 2 games she's been named woman of the match, and I think she deserves that because of how she's been pressing, putting the defenders of the opponents under pressure. Moving on to the quick one is the Diamond League. Zambia's Muzala Samukonga, who's been on a high note of performance over the past few months, because the 2025 season has been a challenging season and it's been very busy for track and field. He was in the US for about 3 to 4 months competing in the Grand Slam track competition, and then he moved on to the Diamond League, which was the most recent in Eugene, Oregon. But Zambians, as expected, after I think he got 5th position from that race, there was just a lot of backlash on social media from people trying to throw shade and whatnot. I think as sports fans, we need to take time to understand the competitions. It's not football. So it's not just about scoring goals or winning. We need to gauge your performance. And for the races that I've seen so far this year, you can tell to say that from each race that he has competed in, there is an improvement. Though he came out number 5 in Oregon, he did. I think he managed to run his personal season best, which is about 44.49, if I'm not mistaken. There is another race coming. He's been invited to the Diamond League in London, and I mean, he's competing in the top leagues in the world. It's like the Diamond League is like the Club World Cup of athletics, if that makes sense. And you just don't go. You get invitations based on your performance. And he's already done one in Oregon. He's doing another one in London in the next couple of weeks. I think in the next few days, not a couple of weeks. And there's this long list of other competitions that are coming up, which is using as preparations for the World Championships that are coming up in September in Tokyo, Japan. And we can't choose one race where he came out number 5 to determine and say, okay, this performance has gone down. It just came from winning a bronze medal at the Olympic Games, and the same athletes who he competed with at the games are the same athletes he's competing with at these international competitions. So it's not an easy task. It's a very difficult race, and he's trying his best. Watch him, look at his performance, and then say whatever you want to say. But from our observation and what we know about athletics, it's just getting started, and it's already like most of the time it's running sub 45. By the time it goes to the World Championships in Tokyo, it will be a sub 44. What are you guys going to say? So let's just watch, give him support, and yes, give constructive criticism, not personal attacks. I mean, there's a lot that we can do, and there's a lot that we can. So that's what I had for you in this weekly sports roundup. I hope to see you in the next one, and please provide some feedback on the areas that I've touched in this video so that we can improve as time goes by.